Hello everyone, let's start with the series Roadmap to Become Competitive Programmer 5 star. So in this video, I'll be explaining water mixing problem. So let's read out the problem. Chef is setting up a perfect bath for himself. He has X liters of hot water and Y liters of cold water. The initial temperature of water in his bathtub is 8 degrees. On mixing water, the temperature of the bathtub changes as following. The temperature rises by 1 degree on mixing 1 liter of hot water, and the temperature drops by 1 degree on mixing 1 liter of cold water. Yeah, it is obvious because when we mix hot water, so it should the temperature of the bathtub has to increase, and when we mix cold water, it should decrease. Determine whether he can set the temperature be degrees for a bathtub. Okay, so yeah, this is easy only. Don't worry, I'll be telling you on the board. The first line of input will contain a single integer t denoting number of test cases. So let's take input and we'll understand the problem. So this will take care of all the test cases. For every test case, we'll call out a function solve whose return type is void and which does not have any parameter. Each test case consists of 4 separate integers a, b, x and y. So there are 4 integers: a, which is initial temperature of the bathtub, and b is basically the temperature chef wants to achieve. X is number of hot waters on liter of hot waters, and y is basically cold water liters, y liters of cold water. Let's take their values. So yeah, let's go down and understand an example. So in the first case, I mean they've given 4 test cases. In the first case, 24, 25, 20. 24, 25, 20. So what it is saying is that A is basically 24, B is 25, X is 2, Y is 0. So what is A? A is basically initial temperature of bathtub. And what is B? B is basically final temperature of bathtub that he wants to achieve. Chef wants to achieve final temperature achieve. What is X? Hot water. This is liters of hot water. This many liters he have. What is Y? Cold water. So see, initial temperature is 24 and he wants to achieve 25, which means 24 is lesser than 25. So he wants to increase the temperature. If he wants to increase the temperature, he will be using hot water, right? Because hot water will increase the temperature. So obviously we will be using X, and let's say 24 temperature is there, we add +1 to it, so we are getting 25. And X value, since it was 2 liters of hot water we had, when we mixed 1 liter, now X value is 1. So after mixing 1 liter of hot water, we got temperature 25, and in this case it is possible, so we'll have to return yes. Got it, right? So let's try to take the second example. First one is yes. 37, 37, 29, 29. 37, 37, 2, 9. See, this is one of the special case now. This is initial temperature and he wants to achieve temperature 37. So since both are same, in this case we don't need to mix any water. Like if you try to mix water, so what do you want to mix is basically when the temperature is set as 37 only, so don't use any water. So in this case, since A, B are same, so in this case you'll have to return yes. So yeah, that is it. Now let's understand this one. 30, 20, 10, 9. 30, 20, 10, 9. This is X and this is Y. So initially temperature is 30, now chef wants to achieve the temperature 20, so which means temperature should decrease, and in order to decrease temperature you will be using cold water, because cold water decreases temperature. So how much of liter water you need to make 20? So 1 liter of water will make 1 degree less temperature. So in this case, if you take 30 minus 20, which is 10, so you need 10 liters of cold water. But you don't have 10 liters of cold water, you have only 9 liters of cold water. So in this case, you will not be able to achieve temperature 20. So in this case, you will have to print no. Yeah, is it? It is. So next we have is 30, 31, 0, 20. So we have 30, 31, 0, 20. This is initial temperature, this is final temperature, this is X number of hot waters, this is cold water. So its temperature is 30 and chef want to achieve temperature of 31, which means he needs to add hot water. How much? 31 minus 30 will give you 1 liters of hot water you need to add. But if you see X, that is less than X is basically less than 1, right? X is less than 1. So which means he don't have sufficient hot water to mix it in order to make temperature 31. So in this case, he'll not be able to achieve the final temperature. So in this case, we'll have to return no. So how are we going to solve this? So there are some of the conditions. We'll have to check if A less than B. This is one condition. If A is less than B, in that case, we'll have to use hot water, right? Because you are increasing temperature. How much hot water you needed? Since we are increasing the temperature, you need B minus A liters of hot water. If the required, this is the required water, required hot water, and if the required hot water is lesser than or equals to you have present hot water, this much of water is present, you have this much of water. If it required is lesser than you have, then in that case it is obviously yes, it is possible to achieve the temperature B. This is one condition. One more condition was that B A greater than B, which means initial temperature is greater than the final temperature, which means we'll have to add the cold water. Now how much liter of cold water you need to add? A minus B, because A liters of water you have, I mean temperature you have, you want to achieve B. So if you subtract, so 1 liter of 1 degree will get subtracted. So when you are adding 1 liter of cold water, 1 degree will be subtracted. So there is a 1 relation, liters of water to degree. So that is why A minus B will give you required cold water. Let me write required cold water, and this should be lesser than Y, lesser than or equals to Y. This is what present cold water. So if this is the condition, then in that case also we'll have to return yes. These two conditions are there. One more third condition was that if A equals to B, which means initial and final temperature are same, in that case also you don't need to add any water, cold or hot water. So in this case you'll have to return, and every other case you'll have to return no. So I think you guys got to know how to solve this. Let's try to code it up. Let me bring down my video, and yeah, first condition was that if A is greater than B, let me take this one, A less than B, which means you want to add hot water. So B minus A is the required number of hot waters. If it is lesser than X, lesser than or equals to X, which means we have sufficient hot waters. So in this case we'll have to print yes. One more condition was that A greater than B, which means you want to decrease the temperature. So in that case A minus B is the number of liters of cold water required. If it is lesser than or equals to Y, in this case also you will have to print yes, because it is achievable. And if A equals to B, so in that case also, like both the initial and final temperature same, so it is yes, we can achieve the final temperature. Else in all other cases you will not be able to achieve. So yeah, let's try to run this code. So yes, no, let's try to submit the code. So yeah, it got accepted. So you could, like, 3 times you have written yes, you could have made this way also, like these conditions put in or condition and can do it. So I was just basically explaining like readable code. So yeah, I think you guys got to know, and this was it. Thank you guys for watching the video.